Right, FURIA, 100 Thieves. I think everyone's looking for those two teams to butt head-to-head. You see, it really takes that spot out of Group B. But again, if you're Isurus, this is your moment. You have to win this game. Same for FURIA, though, because they dropped a game against Envy in group stage.
Yeah,
If they actually won that match, they would have been through over MIBR. They would have already been into.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that upset loss to Envy was definitely very disappointing. Luckily, they kind of got a big win over Made in Brazil, which I think did a lot for them to be able to finally kind of beat the team that was always ahead of them.
Had he beat his brother?
Yeah, so I think that they're feeling pretty good, especially after that Starlighter performance. They beat some really good teams there to get a third place finish, so they're off to a pretty nice little run so far with Henny on the team, but they're not off to a good start on this pistol round, unfortunately. As we see, Isurus is kind of swarming all over the map, and they found every single frag thus far in the round. It's all up to Art and K Serrato to try to see if they can't reel this one back in, and mostly on Art as he's kind of alone in the site. Finds the first frag, though, and gets the bomb down, buying a little bit of time for K Serrato to rotate, but now K Serrato's left alone, and it is not long for this world. It is a victory to kick things off here for the Isurus squad.
And yeah, as they said on the desk, I mean, Noxy, he's got to be the guy we look for. He was the best performer on the team out of Group D when we had the first group stage. And you've seen him be able to hit up some pretty ridiculous shots, to be honest. I'm thinking back to actually also maybe 1962. We had a couple of plays where they were flanking around on Mirage in the first group stage, and there was a couple of fluff moments there. But
they just didn't look that great, though, right? I mean, they lost to Daytona and Sharks. Both series were 0-2, and then they barely beat the Infinity team just to be able to make it here.
Yeah.
Very nearly missed out and would have had Infinity here instead of them for the second group stage. So they have a lot of proving to do, in my opinion. Obviously, they took a really big loss losing Marin. That was kind of their star player in the previous season, EPL Season 9, when they actually did make the second stage, just like they did this stage, and actually had some cool games against some decent teams. So I think losing him was definitely really big, and they're trying to recover from that. They brought MBL back onto the team, who had played with them in the past, but they don't really have like any star names that leap off the page. So that is definitely one thing kind of working against them, but this round is not going to be too much of a problem as it's a full save from FURIA. Surprisingly enough, most teams would force bind around like this, but it's actually a full USP save here from FURIA. So it's a more kind of conservative economic approach.
Yeah, but 1962 is going to spot them crossing into connector anyways, so they know that at least a couple more players are going to be in that direction. You can see Noxy behind. Get some damage done. Should be able to close these out. Not too worried, to be honest. If you're Isurus side, should be relatively clean. A little bit unfortunate. Noxy gets to kill the USP, though, instead of the MAC-10.
Yeah, looking at FURIA, they did have a win over Made in Brazil on Overpass in the first stage. Also had a win over Avangar at Starlighter on their way to that third place finish. Had some big series victories over Vitality, G2, 100 Thieves. Had a map off of Fnatic. So definitely looking to try to continue that momentum here today.
Well, let's say this, though. At least the victory over MIBR, I mean, that was with KNG on the team for like a week, 2 weeks, right?
Sure.
He was kind of like fresher to the roster. We didn't know what to fully expect from them. Though KNG did play well. And I don't really want to put, and I don't mean to put an asterisk next to that win, because obviously FURIA deserved it. But we have to keep that in kind of mind. And I would assume, you know, FURIA have just been improving over time, obviously, and have really been leveling up their game, considering they're getting into like a lot more of these tournaments. They're the highest ranked Brazil team, and they want to keep that. They want to, you know, keep that kind of era going for them. But they obviously have some tough competition when it comes to this group. You see already Max flanking him back towards connector. Art gets the first kill, but he's not going to expect Max to be here, so Max will at least be able to trade that one back. In the meantime, the bomb is heading towards this A site, where Henny's going to be the only one to defend against this, and unfortunately, he's just completely swarmed, completely rushed down, no chance to defend. He's just with the bomb down another time, and if you're FURIA, maybe saving is the ideal play.
Yeah, might as well. Obviously, they full saved up the previous round to try to buy up in a round just like this, but the pace of Isurus has really caught them off guard thus far from pistol round forward. So yeah, as you said, with the money being as low as it is, you'd imagine these 2 M4s and MP9 will carry over. So a really good start here for the team of Argentina.
Thing is, if we talked about Isurus, right? You said there's no one that really like kind of jumps out off the team, right? Off the roster. I look at FURIA and I can kind of say almost the opposite of that. Is that almost every single player, at least in the first group stage, had their own moments, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a team that anyone can really pop off and anyone can really step up in that match and just really carry the team through. So they have so much firepower.
They really do.
Within their roster that you really have to worry about them as a match goes on.
And really their biggest weak link was kind of Able J, and they've been able to kind of fill that in. Now they have Henny going into an opping position. They've shifted Art into more of an entry fragger role alongside Yuri, which kind of suits Art's playstyle, I think, anyway. Like, I think he was always kind of like a really wild, aggressive player, and that can be a little bit risky with an AWP, whereas with the rifle, it kind of feels almost like like he's like a fur type character if I were to compare him to another player, where he's going to do those wild, crazy maneuvers, and he can create a lot of space and openings for his team. So I think it's all in all a FURIA team that is looking real dangerous. But we are going to have a little bit of tech pause here. Not sure what the issue is, but we do see a ref over there on the FURIA table talking with Henny, so maybe a little bit of an issue there. Hopefully that'll be resolved here pretty soon.
Maybe Davey was like trying to sabotage his PC since he did give the fist bump earlier. To be fair, he also kind of missed my compliments, so. But great guy. It was actually really funny to get to talk to him about his match versus his brother.
Yeah.
Back in the first group stage. Because obviously they played on teams together for the longest time. I think that was their first official match against each other too.
It was, yeah.
And we saw which brother reigned supreme.
Yeah, and he did come out on top there. That's why they're here today. Talk a little bit about Isurus. Again, they're a team that normally just kind of plays within South America, mostly against other Brazilian teams. It seems like a lot of the times they play against kind of the teams that are a little bit more name-worthy, like a Sharks or an INTZ or something like that. They typically struggled. Like I know they weren't able to make this last minor. Also weren't able to make Rio earlier this year, which is an event they were really trying to get to somewhat on home soil, at least in their continent. And then, yeah, other than that, like we've really only seen them here and there. Like they actually did qualify for Masters Dallas, but fell out pretty early to Ents and Renegades, which is of course now 100 Thieves. And again, last season weren't able to make the playoffs. So they're a team that, again, we just don't see all that often. And so this is a big opportunity for them to get that experience. Kind of similar storyline to Daytona from last group. You know, try to get a little bit of exposure, play against some teams you not normally get the opportunity to play, learn from it. Maybe you pull off an upset here or there. So we'll have to see. They are already off to a good start here on their pick of Overpass.
I mean, the upside, I guess, for Isurus is that they haven't had to, I guess, travel too much in the scheme of things since the last group stage. So they've been really able to just kind of focus and really hammer down some things. So they could, potentially come out swinging very wildly today. We could potentially see an upset as well. It just kind of depends on where FURIA is sitting, but it's still hard, I think, for anyone out there to really bet against FURIA in this matchup, just based off name alone and you know, recent records and obviously the caliber of teams these two are playing against.
The only thing you could really think about is on their CT side, they've had to make some adjustments with the lineup change. Yuri having to play the B-bomb site now, a position he did not have to play before. He was an A player alongside Art. So that is a little bit of a change, and they haven't played that many official matches since making the roster move on Overpass. So there might be some still, like, you know, things he needs to learn about playing that position. Obviously, Yuri's a very fantastic player, though. He was definitely the star next to Cacerado.
But look at that, though. In the meantime, just to cut in there, Noxie's actually flaked in behind FURIA. Could almost call it the Robin play, just a different position this time.
Yeah, that is pretty wild that he was able to pull that off. We'll see how much impact he can have here. It might not even be required, as they're getting kills everywhere else across the map. So Noxie will just kind of be maybe a little bit of the cherry on top of this Sunday, as it's all Yuri now. The man we were talking about a little bit earlier with the new position, having the flank through connector, but not a whole lot he's going to be able to do now, not after everything that's gone on. It's a real quiet start here from FURIA. No kills from Cacerado or Henny yet. No one's really leapt off the page for them. Meanwhile, you're seeing good things across the board here from Isurus. Haven't had too many rifle rounds yet, though, to be fair, so still kind of early days. But this is great, you know. This is a map that can sometimes be pretty unforgiving for T-sides. And so to get off to a hot start, get those rounds early is definitely a nice look.
Well, the fact that in the first gun round, I mean, it might change here in a second, they've been able to keep all 5 players alive. Like, this is going to be able to stabilize their economy to really carry them through the next few rounds if FURIA is still able to punish them and take a round or 2 back. We'll eventually lose out on 1 player, but Yuri now just trying to hold on, trying to run away. He might not have the chance to. You can see the T side actually able to close in on him, but the time has run out. He will keep the weapon, but we now have to ask ourselves, what can one M4 do unless they're going to force up behind that and really try to help him out?
Yeah, not really sure. Worth noting, as David was talking about, that Overpass is not really towards the top of FURIA's map pool, kind of more towards the middle, so it is an opportunity for Isurus to perhaps show us a little bit of something here in map 1 of the series. As you noted, not a whole lot that we're going to be able to see out of FURIA this round, considering their economic situation. Just that 1 rifle, maybe you can try to design some type of play around it. Maybe try to, you know, bunch up around it so you can kind of recycle it, keep it in play as long as possible. Not sure if they want to go for something aggressive towards short B or connector, or you got to do something like that. Obviously, playing standard's not really going to find you much in a round like this. Maybe even a boost with the M4, like triple boost inside graffiti. Little things like that could certainly be a gimmick that might find you something, but in all likelihood, we should be seeing Isurus go up 5-0. Then I feel like the real game begins at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's FURIA's T side that I'm going to be looking forward to see how they do, because we obviously know them as a very aggressive team, and passive isn't something that kind of fits in their wheelhouse too much. So
No, not at all. I think they're trying to learn how to like pace themselves a bit more, because I feel like their fast-paced play style worked for a while, but then people kind of started figuring it out, and now you have to become a little bit more dynamic of a team, because that is kind of the meta right now, is being able to play all styles of CS a little bit here and there. And Henny actually finding a pretty good shot there on the Natsuki with the AWP to kick things off, so finally a good start for FURIA in one of these rounds.
Yeah, and FURIA actually did buy up in this too, so they're trying to throw everything into this round to prevent that 5-0. There is Isurus off the bat. And Henny already able to give them the man advantage. Let's see if they can maintain it, though. That's going to be the real question. Yeah. But he still gets one kill. He kind of gets on the board finally, and that's got to alleviate some pressure on him.
Yeah, boost still being maintained by Henny and Art over here towards mid-side. Now the smoke fades. They will fall off of it. Isurus already rotated the bank to help reinforce this side of the map. Isurus limited numbers here. Just gathered up most of their forces over here towards B, including the bomb carrier, which is max. They still do have 1962 watching for maybe any type of B flank through Monster or something like that. Maybe he'll even throw some utility and try to keep some presence over there, but it seems like the focus will be very much towards this A side, but taking their time with it.
And not much utility for FURIA to delay the push either. Just counting on these shots to hit. And BL has the opportunity to actually push up very far here. However, K-Star, you can see just rotating around. Gonna be checking over towards long. 25 seconds left to go. We know Isurus is gonna have to make the move. And meantime, Reverse was able to pick up a kill. 1962 still watching over towards T spawn. He needs to rotate in to help out with 15 seconds left to go. Henny's just trying to survive, and he gets another kill. And the quick scope on Reversive. Or the no-scope, I should say. Now, 1962, I mean, you just have to save.
Gotta respect the patience by Henny there. I mean, that guy was jiggle peeking long multiple times, and Henny held his nerve the entire way through. Also, always under threat that someone would push middle, so he had to be, you know, totally accurate. He could not make a single mistake, especially after his two teammates fell. I mean, Art going down for free, even K-Serrato holding out long. He loses his fight, so all the pressure's on Henny, the new guy to the team. But he's known for that fast firing speed. That has kind of always been his trademark. He's always been that frustrating opper where, you know, he hits all like the really incredible shots, but sometimes miss the standard ones. This time, though, he hits everything. Phenomenal stuff here. Good in the close range. You see an example of that right there towards the end of the replay. So finally a round on the board here for the Brazilian side. It's taken a while, but they have agreed to the scoreboard.
Yeah, and Henny's pushed up aggressively. This time he doesn't really have too much support. Art will be there to help him out eventually as he was over towards Connector. Yeah. And obviously Noxie picked up the op and looking for a battle.
And they know Henny's there too with that extinguish, but Henny's actually still lingering around. He's holding a kind of different angle. He's not holding fountain side, he's holding the playground side. Now he swaps back over, trying to peek over the rails. And he's still hanging around. I figured he would have backed off by now, but Art kind of has his back, and they were trying to see if they could figure something out. Especially with that smoke fading over towards Party. Henny wants to hold that angle to stop them from crossing over for free.
Even expecting the boost to come in too.
He's caused them to have to use so much just to get him into bathrooms. That's a lot of utility spent for Isurus to gain kind of minimal map control, if I'm honest. So that is actually a nice job by Henny to just kind of keep that presence there for so long. Ooh.
Oh, I don't know if they, I don't know if they saw Noxie there. They're going to know now, obviously, with the shot rattling off, but Art's still going to be tucked away, and now he's kind of in a tough position. He can't really back out. He needs to get the kill in front of him, which he will secure. Henny, though, going to go for the peek on a Noxie, who misses the shot again. And NBL has actually been able to sneak up. So with that kill coming out of Art, it alleviates the pressure behind them, so they can now focus over towards the actual A-bomb site for the CT side of FURIA.
This is a little awkward, though, where NBL's been able to find himself at. Henny, though, knowing that the smoke still provides safety, hanging around. Eventually, he even pops out, finds a kill, and will maybe stop that bomb play. Indeed, he does. Yuri finds the frag. And so all of a sudden, now that FURIA have kind of got their economy back in order, they seem to start to get a little more comfortable in the game. Also got to give so many props to Art there. Really good play with the SG inside bathrooms. So powerful with that weapon. The fact you were giving it to him on the CT side, that's going to be real dangerous.
So risky, too, like how aggressive they were kind of holding for such a long time. I mean, the position that Henny was watching, looking for the boost up when they were pushing in the middle, like no one was in connector. No one had the information, I believe, to even see a player going through connector. So he really put all of his eggs in on that basket, of hoping no one comes from that direction, but then to back away and then having the two-men stack over towards the long position. It pays off, and well, FURIA take another round, and now Isurus, the money's not looking too good.
No, it's not. Also, they hadn't even had to deal with K-Serrato yet. K-Serrato's still 0-5, which is actually pretty crazy, because I feel like he ascended to a whole new level the last couple of lands for FURIA. He was an absolute monster at Star Ladder, the last group stage, just seemingly building more and more as a player as time has passed. We have a B attack coming in, though.
And Yuri is just, I don't know. He's a one-man wrecking crew pretty much. Gets 2 initial kills. Gonna push out for a third. Gets Noxy very low on health. The case rod is there, and you can already see Furia with the 3-man hold will defend. And Isurus, I mean, it's almost guaranteed to get tied up now unless they force up some pistols and pull off a Hail Mary play.
Yeah, good job by Yuri. Again, new position for him playing that B side of the map to make room for Art to take A with Henny opping. And you know, obviously on Overpass, typically your opper is going to be on A side of the map the vast majority of the time. We see him handling things just fine here with Vinny. Both of them get 2 frags apiece. Quesorado finally joins the scoreboard here with a frag in that round as well. As you were alluding to, just upgraded pistols here for Isurus. So a great chance for Fury to tie things up.
Oh, Henny.
That's rough.
Art gets caught too. He's trying to go for the flashbang or something. I mean, he gets 2 kills, but 2 weapons picked up for Isurus, and it's still going to be a 3-on-3 with so much time left on the board. So maybe they can split the defense. If they take down Quesorado, I want to say Isurus should be able to take this round, but he's been able to sneak up. Gets the first kill and reverse it. Noxy not quite there to get the refrag, and a good flashbang out of Yuri allows him to go for the repeak. They've got the bomb. They take it away. The op at least.
Yeah.
Max is the last alive against 3.
That's always a scary moment when an AWP decides to go for an aggressive play on an anti-eco because you just know the risk of pistol swarming you, especially since Art was there, but he wasn't quite in the position to bail Henny out. Henny actually had to pull out his USP and like stand his ground, which is never something you want to do against a bunch of CZs. So that made things a bit scary, but Art luckily did get 2 frags before going down, and Quesorado made a great little move there with some help from Yuri. And Yuri will be the one to put the finishing touches on it, taking it to a tie game pretty quickly here. 4-0 start from Isurus was certainly impressive, but now times get tougher.
We already know what to expect for FURIA on the T side as well. They continue to build up these rounds, and if Isurus can't stabilize a little bit and stop this rot, I'm also going to be worried for them as we end the first half and swap things over.
Yeah, especially because I'm not sure how deep their map pool really is, and so if you're not able to secure your pick, it's going to be a tough time. All their games were 2 mappers last time around.
Oh my gosh, FURIA again. They set Heady middle every time. Now Art's going to push Fountain.
Yeah.
Like, are they a reverse? Okay, we'll spot him out eventually. You see the like, quick little double take. Like, wait, really? Did they push? We'll kill Art, get the man advantage at least.
It's a blessing and a curse. Like, Art loves to do those solo aggressive plays, but sometimes he gets busted and it can be a real burden. Luckily, Henny's able to trade one back, and Henny's doing a great job on the opposite side, but now he's getting overwhelmed. Oh,
too many angles to watch there. B side has been swarmed. They will get the bomb in towards the side and get it down. It's still going to be a 3-on-3. Henny still has the op, and there's a little bit of a gap for him to potentially play with. You just see looking for Henny's silhouette of a T player, and he still has 2 teammates to help push out towards lower. He's waiting for that switch to dissipate his max. Gonna be dropped by Quesorado through the wall. That was in from Connector, and now Yuri might have the opportunity to push in, but it doesn't seem to matter. Henny gets one, Quesorado gets the last, and FURIA, that retake looked all too easy.
Yeah, even though Henny was pretty much locked out of the majority of that retake, the rest of the teammates were able to find their frags when they needed to. You see Quesorado there on your screen. Kind of looks a little bit like Logic, like just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Similar hairline, the glasses. I don't know.
I mean, Noxy had to go for the peak there, I guess.
Yeah.
He had to at least alleviate the pressure from one
double
direction.
op now for the CT side.
That's kind of interesting, right? Because FURIA won 5 straight, so it's not like they needed to invest in double op. What they were doing was working, but maybe the switch up's coming through because they want to play a little bit more passive with the AWPs and not really pressure middle as much, because Art was the one that got super aggressive in the last round and got
You can just keep Isurus guessing though, right? Like Isurus are a step behind already, so you can keep making these micro adjustments, and Isurus is trying to adjust something that isn't even happening anymore. Now they have to, you know, adjust to something new on the fly. Right now they're just not finding anything though, getting shut down on all fronts.
Oh wow, it's just, I mean, the flashes have been good, the shots have been good, FURIA.
Yeah.
I mean, bar those 4 rounds, if you ignore them, I mean, they have looked flawless here. They're playing so well together as a team, and I think that's kind of what we expected, and we kind of hoped out of the roster, but we didn't fully know coming into today. But they seem, you know, well versed. They're prepared. They're playing really well as a team, as a unit. I
mean, obviously, FURIA was like a really dangerous team kind of earlier in the year. You know, they had that pretty good finish at Rio. They obviously had the Masters Dallas top 4 finish. They placed second at ECS. So the summer looked really, really promising. But then we saw some disappointment at Cologne, at Mochi XL. we're starting to kind of wonder about this team. They obviously also had a really rough major. And so I think a lot of people were thinking that there was going to be this steep decline. And really, though, what we've seen here lately is a bit of a recovery. And obviously making it to the EPL Season 10 finals is a big one for them. That would be what they really need, not only to make it there, but also, you know, place at least top 8, I would say. You know, you need to try to maintain that top 10 position in the rankings and maybe even bump forward a little bit, kind of prove that you're still a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, 100 Thieves, though, in this group is going to be a tough cookie. They did beat them at Star Ladder, though.
Yeah, but with how JKS, I mean, the first group stage might have beat him at Star Ladder, but if JKS can find that kind of form again, that would be really crazy. And we're seeing the save just the pistols out of Isurus.
Yeah.
And that's something we're going to have to talk about eventually is that potential matchup. Well, I mean, it is not a potential matchup. It will happen between
that
FURIA
final
and
matchup of the group, and it could be the one that means the most if both teams wind up being 2-0 there. Obviously, Isurus is going to be kind of a heavy underdog and when they play both of these teams, as we're seeing right here. But maybe United could play spoiler, though. I think that there's a chance. They definitely have some talent over there.
You got Moose back on the team.
Yeah,
you got Freakazoid leading now.
Yeah, so there's definitely a chance they could play a little bit of spoiler to 100T or FURIA, but very likely we're looking at FURIA 100T being 2-0 teams facing each other in the final match of the group for all the marbles. So that's definitely something we're kind of building up towards. But again, you never know what type of curveball might be thrown into the mix. Again, we did see Envy upset FURIA in the first stage, so there's always that chance. But you wouldn't bet on it.
And it's got to be frustrating for them, too, knowing that if they just went, if they just beat Envy, I mean, it was a 2-1.
Yeah.
Then they would have been through already. It would have been MIBR now in these shoes, having to play for a spot into the finals.
Meanwhile, 100 D's obviously had to play in the same group as the Liquids. That's always kind of a tough draw because they destroyed the other two teams in that group, ATK and Singularity, I believe. So
that group was already kind of messed up to begin with, right? Because ATK and Singularity came in like last second.
Right. Yeah, it's always tough. Like if you're in a group with Liquid or EG, the way they've been playing throughout the bulk of this year, it's always going to be a tougher time. But either way, let's get into another gun round here. Not that many left to go here in this first half, so I seriously need to try to see if they can't get a little bit more out of this. Ooh, that's enough to take a shot.
Gosh, so quick. So trapped, and yet they've not been able to kill him off. He actually decides to push in the connector, but 1962 will fall to the grenade out of Art.
Thing is, he drew so much attention that it allowed a couple other CTs to get in some different positions, actually wound up getting a man advantage for FURIA despite Henny getting trapped and being brought down.
Wait, with Max here, and with Yuri already pushed, will they expect Max to actually have pushed up towards short? Well, there's the answer. Vinny, I think, catches him last second and is able to pick up the kill. Now the last two players of Isurus are going to be coming in towards this B site. Vinny's just trying to defend. The nade coming through does some serious damage, but unfortunately gets caught on the jump. Vinny will still get one, though. The redemption comes through. He takes down Nox. It's all in reversive now in a 1-on-2.
Yeah, he does have bomb in his possession. He has a little bit of time, but just Yuri finding the perfect window to strike, and so it's going to be 8-4. They have now run 8 in a row, to be in fact. They've won several rifle rounds also, and this is a little bit more typical, I think, a little bit more of what we were expecting.
Man, not really breaking a sweat on FURIA's side.
Here's the thing, though. If you're Isurus, if you can win 2 more rounds at some point, you got 3 more to go, you'd still be all right, I think. I think if you do it 5-10, though, I think that might be a bit too much, especially with the 4-0 start. Like, you'd really hope that you could find at least 6 rounds in the half.
I don't even think maybe 2 more would be enough. I mean, just expecting, or thinking about what FURIA can do on the T side.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I definitely trust your opinion more than mine, and don't get me wrong, but I mean, FURIA's T side is probably one of the strongest. It probably is the strongest of their 2. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I find it hard in general for us to win this, but for them to only get 4 rounds so far, and those 4 rounds were all back-to-back.
And they were all based on kind of winning pistol and the fact that FURIA elected to full eco round 2. So they really only won like 2 true rounds, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can take away some of FURIA's round because they got the fight to Mikos as well. But all in all, FURIA has certainly looked the stronger team, which I guess is evident based on the scoreline.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like the whole John Madden explanation. The team with the most points is going to win the ball game. So.
Boom. Yuri again, the flashbangs. Like, we're seeing so many assists with the flashes. Very nice to see. It kind of reminds me of what we saw out of Daytona. You kind of caught a pop flashing turtle multiple times on Overpass. Max, unfortunately, able to win out on that fight against Yuri, and now it's on reversive again in a 1-on-4. These rounds are just so clean.
Yeah, it just seems like Isurus are not trading very well. It seems at times they look a little kind of all over the place. To be fair, they only have had their new fifth on the team for maybe a month and a half or so I don't know how much they've gotten to work on things. Again, losing Mayern was kind of their star player, was a pretty big loss.
Yeah.
So yeah, not really sure what to expect.
And then Mayern went on to beat them, unfortunately, in the group, in the first group stage.
That's tough.
But yeah, just being spammed through the wall before he even gets around the corner. 9 rounds straight for FURIA. Looking to close out this half with double digits. And they are pretty much about to do it as well. I don't know, that's kind of one of the frustrating things about being like maybe like a tier 2, tier 3 team, or like not the top team from your region, is that you become basically a feeder team.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of what everyone thought FURIA was going to be, but they actually were able to maintain all their players. None of them went over to Made in Brazil, and that's why they've been able to really build up into the top 10 of the world rankings.
That's such like it's such a tough decision to make in your career as a player, right? Is to like stick with your teammates because you have the hope and the drive to get better, or go into a roster that's already proven themselves before. Hard. These shots are looking so clean out of it. They had a third as well in the NBL.
Yeah, that's the thing about FURIA. They have one of the most dangerous double op setups in the game right now. Like the only other ones I can really think of are like, you know, Simple and Guardian on Navi, yeah, KNG and Fallen Over on Made in Brazil. Obviously, Liquid just has a bunch of people who can op, so anytime they double op, it can be scary. Maybe Dupree device, but these two definitely very, very solid oppers. Both of them also have kind of that similar, like, go for the quick firing speed, really good in close range situations, so definitely can be sometimes a handful.
I love how I can read those sides. I mean, I've only been in Germany 7 years. But my German still sucks.
I took a little bit of German in college, but that's been many years ago. Not enough. Not enough. I can conjugate a verb, though, bro. You give me a verb, I can conjugate that. For sure.
Well, I'll test you on that for the halftime. So right now, Caesar's are trying to push in. They're going to win the exchange up against Vinny. K-Strato's still going to be there. They still have 2 other players to help defend this. The rest of Fury going to be rotating back in. And Yuri used that smoke to his advantage as well. Able to get the clean shot in over towards short. Even gets more aggressive for another peek on the Max. But I think this is just like no respect plays out of FURIA right now.
Yeah, I think they've like kind of locked in the confidence. It's flowing. 11 straight rounds from FURIA to go up huge before we transition sides here on our first map in the opening match of Group B, Stage 2. One of our favorites in FURIA are off to the start we kind of expected. Let's see if they can finish the job as we return from the break here pretty shortly.
pride I'm watching from Paris to Poppy, yeah. With this music was lurking, now I'm attacking. Now with the chatting, I just step up and make it happen. It's a lifestyle. Living young and restless, yeah, we quite wild. If I want it, I'ma get it talking right now. And I ain't got no regrets, it's my time now. Lights out when you see us talking moves. You don't know that's the topic. And if you talking juice, well then you know I got it. Then you know I got it. Nobody got it like you know.
Well, after winning 11 rounds straight, I think we can kind of expect the stats we're seeing out of FURIA. Yuri at 19 and 3, Art 14 and 10. That kind of surprises me that he's died 10 times, but he's been taking aggressive fights to be fair, and well, he's still positive KD, so can't judge him too harshly.
No, it's been pretty much a clinic here from FURIA. Again, just after losing Pistol and then losing the full eco, which you're guaranteed to lose pretty much, they really stormed it from that point forward. And now they're off to a hot start here as they start barreling through Monster, looking to attack this B-bomb site right away. They've already torn through the first line of defense, and it continues to press forward. A tidal wave of Brazilians absolutely crushing the rocks that are Isurus, which is odd because they're the ones that are supposed to be the Sharks. And so there you have it, 12-4. And you can tell that FURIA are having a good old time over there, all smiles and laughs. They know that their most important games are yet ahead. This is just kind of taking care of business for them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you see the smiles, the laughs, like they know this is a game that we're feeling confident for. I mean, everyone's hitting shots 20 and 3 for Yuri. That is just insane stuff. And we haven't really seen anyone Isurus stand out. I mean, yeah, Noxie's on 7, 1962's on 9, but no one's had like a big play on their side, unfortunately, and obviously it's reflected in the score.
Unlike FURIA, they will decide to go ahead and force up and around like this. Scouts max 7 even, so that's a really heavy-handed force buy. Unfortunately, they are getting absolutely bodied all across the board. The mag 7's still up on Reversa, but he's already half health, and it's a 5-on-3 when it's all said and done as the bomb goes down. They might even just save these guns, to be 100% honest. They're not really in position to retake, and at least they could roll them over and try it again next round before the full buy in the following.
And maybe get a cheeky kill and steal a gun away. Or just deny money to the Mac 10s that are coming through again. You can see Art pushed out, K Serrato. He's more sitting over towards the side at the moment. But Art, he's hungry. He's not satisfied with his 10 deaths, but he has a good chance of taking the scout away from Noxie, to be fair.
Indeed he does, and farms Metro Cash for a Mac 10, so it's now more than paid for itself, and definitely more than paid for itself now with that many kills. Good stuff. $1,050 gun make him $1,800. So that's a pretty good little profit.
I mean, FURIA just make us look too easy. What, pistol round, they flood into the B site. This round, they flood into the B site. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they went just B again and rushed it another time.
Well, that's the thing about this team on Overpass, is like they're able to play standard, but they move fast at all times, and definitely you can see them like to go for those fast-paced B executes. Only time that they would really slow it down is if they want to give time for Henny to pick with an op, but when you still have 2 Mac 10s at your disposal, you're going to want to keep moving quick.
Oh, speaking of quick, again, Vinny kind of leading the charge. Art corner on the side, he gets the first go with the Mac 10, 2 more players to find, and well, eventually he's going to turn around and finish off Reversive.
This is like a, I feel like this is like us in the bystander effect. Like, should we call somebody?
I mean, someone else will call, right?
I see what you did there.
I I mean, this is what we expect, right? Like,
yeah, I mean,
let's not beat
to be
around the
fair.
bush. We expect FURIA to win this match. Maybe not so heavily at the moment, like they are currently, but
Yeah,
this is what we
brutal.
expect 100%. I mean, this
I mean,
is
to be
a
fair, like every other time Isurus has played a top team, for the most part, like when they've played like Ents or Renegades or some of these other teams at like Dallas or you know, something like that, typically it has been similar type of score lines. There's been a couple of exceptions.
yeah.
I think maybe in Season 9 of EPL, they had a couple of more decent games. Like they had some close games in Spain, Brazil, I believe, but yeah.
Well, we will have NBL open up with the first kill, but unfortunately still will be dropped by Henny through the smoke. Who's going to come in? I wonder if Max is actually going to change up position, maybe give Yuri a potential shot. Oh. Don't jump again. I don't think Yuri's going to miss his chance here. Oh, he spots him out and still gets the kill. Again, they're just going B every round. They're not really too worried about the defending side out of Isurus. They have the man advantage. They might even rotate back because they have the pressure of potentially going towards A. But you know what? It's FURIA. They still want B, and they're still going to fight for it. Unfortunately, Henny's going to fall, but Yuri and Vinny's still going to be there. Again, K. Serrato, how many of these kills have we seen have been these assisted flashbangs? It's insane how well they're able to set up their players and then secure these kills.
Oh, that's a great little peek, too. Not giving the op a singular chance by peeking sandbanks and simultaneously. And so there you have it. FURIA moments away from locking in map 1 here in this best of 3 with, I believe, Nuke up next. Which, to be fair, I'm a bit surprised FURIA picked. It's a map that's been kind of iffy for them, actually. They were really strong early in the year, but lately it's been a bit more of a mixed bag when it comes to results. I think they're still trying to put it to good use, so we'll see if they've built upon it.
You know, it's one way to like kind of work on it, right? Is an official tournament.
Sure.
Against a team that you are pretty confident you can beat.
Yeah. They did win it a couple times against Vitality and 100 Thieves for Starladder, but they lost it a couple times there as well. So again, kind of a mixed bag, but we'll see what happens later. Got to get there first. I think we're pretty much there. Can't really see Isurus running 11 in a row for an overtime based on what we've seen so far. They've lost 15 straight rounds, so it would be kind of Herculean effort to get back on track.
Well, this will be the last try. 4-man stack over towards B. They even had a flank command to Max, but K-Serrato's going to deal with him. And, well, they got the players. They don't have the weaponry. Unfortunately, they don't have the kills. It's all on NBL as he does pick up one and eventually going to fall. And FURIA, a relatively easy game for them, 16-4. And that'll end off the first map.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can say about that, is there? Just basically domination from the Brazilian side. Again, kind of what we expected. I was thinking maybe it could be a bit closer with the map pick, but yeah, no chance. It's all FURIA. They move on 1-0 in the series.
All right, well, we're going to head to a short break. When we come back, we'll be kicking off our second map this year. See if FURIA can take it 2-0. Isurus will take us over to map 3. That'll be new, and that'll have to be after this break.